Welcome back, everybody. We're back with OMG, Our Meditation Generation. I'm Melissa.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Yolessa.
And we're back to talk about meditation, spicing it up a little bit and making it more accessible and fun to do in your everyday life. So we reviewed our first episode, which was amazing. It was a lot of fun. It was very entertaining, even for us to watch. And we found there were some recurring phrases.
Or
maybe more recurring phrase. And we would like to set up a little bit of a game tonight. Joseph, why don't you tell us about that?
Okay, we noticed that we said right many times.
And in many different ways, right?
Right. So we even thought, should we change the name of this show to The Right Show?
Right. Right stuff.
But because Meditation Generation is so important, we're not going to change that. What we will do to check ourselves is every time one of us says the word right, we have to drink some of our tea. It's going to be a little drinking game.
Why don't you drink with us? Your choice. Grape juice, tea.
But I wanted to drink it anyways. I didn't realize that was part of the policy.
Well, we have more tea for you.
I'm not worried about her because she snuck in so many rights. We're like,
she had stealth rights.
She had a right shimmy shoulder.
Right. Yeah. It was literally her right shoulder, yeah.
And Joseph's count is 2. So for Joseph's right, take 2 sips.
Booming voice.
So that's going to be our game tonight, so have fun with us. And we'll do our best to kind of keep the rights down to a minimum.
Drink.
So today's topic, we had a topic suggested by one of our viewers, is meditation and sex. What is meditation good for? And we found an article that actually is titled, Meditation and Sex Are the Same to Your Brain. Let me just read it a little bit. All right. A new study suggests that your brain reacts the same way to meditation as it does to sex. Both dissolve our sense of self-awareness, separating ourselves from our ego. And the lead researcher, Gemma O'Brien, found that people meditating and having an orgasm both experience diminution of self-awareness and I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Sorry, maybe Canada can tell me how to pronounce that. I'm sure they just add another letter. Did I say right? Did I say it?
She got herself.
All right, okay. You guys too. And alterations in bodily perception. When you meditate, the left side of your brain lights up, and when you have sex, the right side of your brain lights up. Both experiences leading to a stoppage of mental chatter in your brain and helping you lose physical and mental boundaries. And you can check out more on the study at the Scientific American. So, what do you think? Who's ready to get their meditation on?
I am.
So I think it gives new meaning to the term the little death, I guess.
What?
Have you ever heard that before?
I actually know what he's talking about, but maybe in Canada it's not called that.
Okay. Well, you know.
Do tell.
Well, no. Let's start with. We'll come back to the little death later. Let's start with her
what's
point.
The little death?
What was her point? Did she?
You don't. Okay. You've never heard. Okay.
The orgasm is a little death.
You've never heard that before.
Losing yourself.
Actually, I think it's. I think it was based on a loose translation of a French phrase. More. More. I think it was a. I don't know what the original French phrase. More.
Okay.
Death.
More. I'm Canadian. I speak French. More.
Anyway,
the point is, I'm saying, it's in English. This phrase has been used to indicate. Did I say it right? Well, I did now. In English, this phrase has been used to indicate that orgasm is when you lose yourself. It's actually a sort of a death of self. That the pleasure, all the centers in the brain take you to a place where your sense of your own body and everything is gone, right. And so it's like a little mini experience of death.
And maybe in meditation, it's. Because I cannot say that all my meditative experiences have been the same as my orgasmic experiences. But I can say that maybe those certain moments when you really, there's nothing else going on in your mind and there's only just that awareness or being in the present moment, I think it could be kind of close. But it seems like with sex, it's a much more physical response.
But it's your brain. It's not the whole body. It's your brain, right?
Actually, I've definitely had moments in meditation where something in my brain said, this is the same feeling I've had when I had an orgasm. I'm not kidding.
Really?
There was some translation that happened, and I began to associate the 2 years ago, and I was like, what's going on? And at first I really didn't understand it, but like reading this article, it makes sense. I never had someone to say to me, like, reaffirm or confirm what I was perceiving, but I remember making the association. There was definitely a congruence. Yeah.
Well, I think about it in this way. You know, I compared meditation to something that runners do, and you know, there's the runner's high, the endorphins and everything, and so
What
obviously,
is the runner's high?
so the runner's
that
high
feel
is
like?
after a certain point of running, you lose sense of your own body and
Even
your,
the tiredness.
even the
and
tiredness
pain,
is
It
goes
goes
gone.
away.
It
Is
goes
this
away.
for
Completely,
like
like,
somebody who runs a
in the
marathon?
zone. Not
No,
necessarily.
not necessarily. No, not necessarily. This is something that's associated with people that run a lot. I know you
Running
used to
or
run.
sports. Or-
I never had a
She's
runner's
like-
high.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Maybe.
I had a runner's torture.
I think she's high all the time.
She doesn't have anything to compare.
I
Yeah,
was
man.
a runner's high.
She is a runner's high.
She's never heard of the Little Death. She never had a runner's high. I think Canada's an alternate
It's an alternate universe where everyone's
Yeah.
just all like, meditation is like
naturally
sex.
peaceful. Yeah. No, but in reality, what I'm saying is that I think what happens is with the brain, you know, receiving a release of hormones, endorphins, etc. It doesn't matter necessarily what's happening on the outside of your body. Meditation helps you create that on the inside. And similarly, people think that it's the drugs that make people high, all the narcotics, but it's not.
It's
It's
a
happening
response
within.
in the brain.
Right. So your body or your brain is making a response
There's
to
so
those
many
drugs.
ways to get there, but what is actually happening is the
Right.
So meditation
I think
is
somebody,
the
our
who said
producer,
it? You must drink.
I think she's been saying it like 100 times.
I think you mean
I have no
no.
drink.
He's
your
paying
entire
attention.
cup.
Our producer is on the ball. but I think that I don't know. I'd have to say that my experiences in sex have been much more. I don't know, of an intense experience. I've had
Right.
intense meditative experiences, but I don't know if I agree with this. I'm not sure. I mean, I can see, okay, dissolve your sense of self-awareness. Yeah. I think in concept, but the same?
Well, maybe what you need to do is see the brain, like have electrodes hooked up to your brain.
Actually see the brain
and
patterns.
see the brain
Actually,
patterns.
You know what else kind of gave me that feeling in my body that it's familiar to an orgasm? There have been times when I have been like performing, dancing, where I really got into a space.
I really thought she was performing.
And not
I'm like,
performing.
she is
sex.
such a performer that
But-
even her sexual act is a performance. When I was performing in
No, performing as a dancer. I was a modern dancer. And no, there have been times when I've been performing and I'm
You get
going
that
through
high.
it and there's this high. It's really blissful. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
There is this high that happens and that's also a familiar feeling I have felt.
Actually, you
I've
know
heard
what?
this with
Yeah.
childbirth
You know
too.
what?
Some women say they experienced it.
I
Yes.
can't say anything.
No,
for
of
that.
course I haven't experienced it,
I-
but I've
I'm
heard
sorry,
that.
but what
You
is-
know, of course, there's
Who said-
pain, but at the end, there's like a.
Actually,
I've
you
heard a
know,
lot of women say
I've
this.
I
never
can't
had a
say
child.
anything.
I've never had a
but
child.
I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, my having a child is like."
yeah.
You know, I've never had a
Always
child.
talk about the pain.
But you know, people moan during sex,
Like
they moan while
Maybe like a
they're
good
having a
pain.
baby. It could be vaguely related.
But I hope you
I'm
don't
not
moan
sure
when you meditate.
Relationship, like what are you trying to relate?
I hope
But
you
know
don't
what?
moan when you meditate. Although the Bible does say something about calling them moaning women. You know?
Yeah, but have you ever
making
seen
a sound.
What's
Right.
it called? Like, there's a video of Osho's
Who
like.
said right?
What did Osho do? He did like shaking
Actually, I was gonna-
vibration, that video,
vibration,
and
yeah.
and people are like, sorry.
I think this is going to be one of our most watched episodes ever.
But there
Just
was,
to hear her performing online.
but you know, they're like,
They're making sounds.
They're
and
making sounds
They're
and then-
vocalizing.
it could be perceived as ecstatic.
What I was thinking
But
about.
isn't that? I mean,
Okay, so meditation.
are there many?
This
is there
is
only
really
one way
important,
to
right?
experience ecstasy?
Yeah, this meditation that we're talking about, I think even for myself, I'm thinking about when I was doing kind of seated meditations or those kind of traditional meditations, but in some other meditative practices that are like dance
Right.
or vibration,
Right.
yeah, I can say that is actually put me
Right.
over the edge. Like that kind of like
Exactly. See?
completely ecstatic, really completely out of body experience where you're just being kind of moved by energy. And I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Because people might say, okay, how can this really be the same experience? But this is breaking out of the mold of the peaceful Asian, just
Right.
sitting in cross-legged posture meditation,
Sorry.
but actually something that you're moving. Yeah, I hope we have the counter this episode because I think she's going to win.
She's gonna win.
No!
I think she's going to take the cake.
No.
For
And
that.
the tea.
Oh, that one hurt. But this can be a way to expose people to completely different types of meditation and
Well-
getting into that space through
Right.
very
And-
active physical movement.
Well, here's something to consider. What is happening in meditation and why?
What's
are we
happening
using it?
in your brain,
So
right?
I think that whether you're moving or sitting in meditation, usually you're releasing some type of thought or awareness that's been blocked, that you've been holding on to for a
Right.
long time, and you continually shed these thoughts and layers. It's a tea party for her.
I'm just gonna give you the rest.
You shed these layers. And bliss is really getting to your pure natural state.
Yeah,
Releasing all those layers.
So is what you're saying is that during sex, people are essentially doing just that?
Some, not
Could
everyone.
be, right?
Right.
I think it depends on the
Not
quality
everyone.
of the sex too.
Exactly.
That's what
Or
I was
the
about to
frame
say.
of
Right,
mind.
right.
I think
It
it really
depends
what
on
kind
the-
of state of mind you're in. Because some people, I mean, this is kind of a different topic too. But some people really don't enjoy
Yes.
sex,
Yes.
and
Just like some people don't enjoy eating. I'm sorry to say. But
Is that a thing?
I know, it is a thing. It's
no, but
yeah.
it's true. Like we can't. And I think it's meditation too. You can't enjoy meditation when you're full of anger and
Yeah.
frustration and resentment and worry and doubt. And that's really what meditation can do, is release a lot of that.
Right.
And even I think
Well-
that can be for sex too, is that once we can get in a totally different frame of mind, the level of the experience can be heightened by where you're focusing, what the meaning of that experience is. I think it's kind of exciting what you can do to heighten
Right.
not only sex, but actually any
Any experience.
experience.
Right.
It's so much
So you
about
can
where you are
make your
mentally.
life experiences exciting and interesting
Yeah.
based on the mind that you bring to it.
as much as having an orgasm.
Right. Oh. So,
Oh,
I'm not
she was
gonna
going to
take
be
a
the
drink
queen
yet.
of,
I'm not going to take a drink yet because I have something to say.
and she wants to get a few more in so that she can just do one shot.
So, I said so.
Go ahead.
Then, okay, if sex, according to this article, if sex gives you the feeling that meditation gives you, people might argue, like, then
Why do you need meditation?
why don't I just have more sex? Why
I think
should
that's what everybody's
make-
thinking most of
No,
the
well,
time.
actually, the article doesn't say that. The article says the brain recognizes
As the
meditation
same.
the same as orgasm.
But
Not
what I-
everyone has an orgasm with sex, right?
That's true.
No, it just
So-
says it's sex, not orgasm. Just
No?
sex.
Oh.
And it did talk about orgasm too, but I think they're saying it's not necessarily one has to go
Right.
with the other.
So,
Well-
I
You
guess
just,
my...
I think you just need to
Oh, snap.
drinking
Oh,
for a
snap.
while.
So-
We'll catch
You
up
just
with you
take
later.
take the
Just
top
go
off
ahead.
and
Just go
chug
ahead.
that.
Well, so, okay, what I'm trying to say is then what is the value of meditation?
Meditation?
What is the value of meditation?
Yes.
Why?
Oh, I don't know,
it's-
because you're in the middle of a meeting
No,
and you
no,
can't
no.
just stop, drop
I
your
think
pants and
that's
have
a
a little
great-
sex on the side.
No, I think that the great point is your approach to anything. Because
I guess you could.
because
Actually,
no.
I think you have a point.
No, but everything could be meditative. So therefore, there are plenty of people out there like Tantra who practice
Yeah.
sex as meditation. But it really is
agree.
like conscious breathing, consciously being aware
Which
of your body.
people, meditators, do
Right.
on their own all
Right.
the time.
Actually, I have something to say about what Melissa said earlier. I think she's right. part of it is that you can't just drop your pants wherever you are and have sex. So, you know, when you're having sex requires another person. You're
Right.
not independent in that sense.
Oh, I have my own. Yes.
You know? So, which means that, like, your bliss is dependent
On someone
on
else.
someone else.
You know, actually, something that I have heard of before, there's a word, I think in Korean, that actually is synonymous with enlightenment, but it also means sex. It's like the joining or completion of two kinds of energies coming together.
Right. Oh.
I wish someone could Skype us that word. What is that? Do you know that word?
No.
That word? Song. I think it's song.
Okay.
Okay.
Song.
Well, we'll check on that so that by the time that you get to see this show,
And
we
actually,
will
we'd
verify
really like
on the
to open
bottom
it
of
up.
the
Yeah.
screen what the word is.
We'd like to open up for questions for all of our viewers, so get into the chat room. I can't imagine that people are not interested in this subject. So
Yeah, don't be shy.
yeah, don't be shy. I think it's a really important subject. And also, I mean, you know, sex is also involving relationships too, how we interact with another human being. It doesn't always need to be, I mean, sex doesn't always have to be a physical experience. It can be a real, huge, harmonious experience with someone that doesn't
That is
necessarily
true.
require physical interaction. And I think that can, if that aspect is there with the physical, it's much more of an experience.
Right. So I'm curious about your non-physical
Sex with somebody else.
Yeah, what
Are
is
you
that
saying
like?
you'd like to experience
What is that like?
I want to know.
We don't even have to
how
touch.
that happens.
I'm gonna do a shoulder shimmy and then
I got my eye on you.
No, seriously. I do believe it. I do believe what
Well,
you're saying.
I
and I
think-
just want to know.
I know in some meditation practices they focus on feeling of energy in your body
Okay.
or the flow of energy inside of your body and how to control it and manage it. And I've heard
Right.
he just wanted that one. That actually through Tantra it's actually about energetic circulation between you and that other person. And the energetic circulation doesn't have to take place through physical interaction. So
Right. Oh.
she's not even trying. She's not even trying. That's okay.
I am.
I'm kind of thirsty. But I think through conscious breathing or doing a practice on their own and then doing that together with someone they really care about would be so powerful and could actually be very impactful for healing relationships and, you know, especially with your loved one or your, you know, romantic partner. But I mean, even the feeling of love and circulation with another human being, not necessarily just in that one relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of experiences where there was no physical interaction, but I felt completely in love with this person.
Right. Oh.
And then another one, and another one, and another one.
Well, one thing that I think is interesting connection there is that both with meditation or with a healthy sexual experience, you actually have to be comfortable in your own body.
Yeah.
And I think that Yulissa, she mentioned this earlier, that meditation, starting to be aware of your body and
Having a physical
by
yourself.
awareness, being by yourself, or just being aware of yourself. I think that's really key. So, being comfortable in your own skin is a really, so when people have those negative meditative experiences, they're really learning how to become comfortable in their own skin. And I think the same could be said for the sexual experiences. When you're ready, you are, comfortable with your own body and you're aware of yourself.
Right. Oh! I'm so proud of that one. Drink. And right after the chat room says, the subtitle for this episode should be, it had to happen. This had to come. It had to happen. And also the chat room is letting us know that yes, song is the Korean word for it denotes enlightenment.
Good.
Thank
Wow,
you. Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
And we have a question from Jane Lava. Just wondering, do you know of any stories of people who use meditation to strengthen their relationships or their relationship?
Yes, I have seen, it's hard for me to recall an exact example, but through my years of meditation, I have seen several couples who have used meditation to help their relationship. Basically, what the couples would experience is an increased, ability to love each other. And then whatever barriers or obstacles they had between each other sort of melt away, and they feel really, I don't know, like a sense of oneness with each other, perhaps that they haven't felt, since they fell in love initially.
I think, especially with relationships, long-term relationships, so many moments pass where you hurt each other and they just kind of build and build. It's never just one thing. It's just this accumulation. And I think even for our own personal self, we lose that we lose that connection with ourselves because of that same accumulation of just old emotions, memories, stagnant energy. And as people meditate, individually they become lighter and more connected with their self. And then when they connect with another human being, it's like there's less in between. There's less blocking them. They feel able to connect with each other's heart, and almost like having a second honeymoon, because they feel we can be one again, actually.
I know also of a therapist who is a couples counselor, and she kind of uses meditation for people to help improve their communication. So the first thing they have to do is learn how to listen. And the part that's meditative is that they have to even feel within their body if they're responding, not even vocally responding. And then they start to learn how to,
is touched by whatever
so
the
they start to
person is
learn
saying.
how to, with their whole body, their whole self, really listen to what the person has to say and complete their thought. And it really improves communication. And all of a sudden, when people go through that, they become less competitive in their relationships, and they kind of get each other better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
I know this may not be the relationship they're thinking about, but actually with like a mother and a child.
Yes.
She was like,
cringe?
she just, right? She breathed out. Yes. But this person found that she couldn't even listen to her children, like what Joseph was saying. She couldn't even be present. And here they were, they're 6 and 7, and they run around and say things and just all day long chattering, and she couldn't be with them. But after doing a few months of meditation and also some stretching and breathing, like yoga, she was able to be with her kids. Even when it was usually annoying, it was just easier to be with them.
Yes.
Like everything, time was different with them.
Yes.
And she felt like, I'm really being present. I'm able to be together with them. Their childhood isn't just flying by with me being irritated and, anxious all the time. So I think that's one example. We're more present with those people from our
And
own
I think that's a good
experience.
point with the children, because whether it's with children or with a spouse or a romantic partner, people tend to take the stressors out on the people that are close to them.
Yes.
And so if you're meditating, then all of a sudden you're not dumping on that person.
Right.
And then also I think people feel like they fill up, so they empty something out, they empty it out, and then they feel love, and they feel like they have something to give. And so now they're giving, and they feel like, I have a sense of value, like I have value, I have something to give. And it can be so subconscious, but just that act and feeling your value and giving, there is, a healing that happens.
It changes the dynamic, right?
Yeah, the whole dynamic in the relationship. Hey.
Last question. Dan the man. Since sex and meditation are similar, is that why I feel tired after sex or meditation? Why does that happen?
What?
Oh.
Okay, now I actually have to say about sex.
Sex
Being
and
tired
meditation,
after
is that what I
sex,
feel?
I think this is a
Tired
difference
after
between
sex
men and
or
women.
meditation.
I think men
Oh, right,
get
because
really
men-
tired after sex, and women get all energized. They're like ready to clean the house. We're ready to do something. We want to connect. We want to talk. And they're like, can we just not do that?
Well,
I don't know if
think
that's
it's
your
energetics.
experience, but I think that's
I think it's
different, yeah.
energetics. When you just look at the energy makeup of the male and female, So basically,
More of a release.
right? And receptivity.
Right.
And, so.
But how about after meditation?
You know what?
I don't
it
feel
is?
bad.
after
I don't feel
meditation?
tired after meditation.
I actually don't either.
Yeah.
I feel alert after
that's what I was
meditation.
Sex can be a little bit of a tranquilizer.
Kind of make you
Yeah.
Calm
so
down.
Oh,
it's
the
climax,
dopamine.
and
Literally, the dopamine.
then it's like a tranquilizer, and then you have to go to sleep. I didn't say right. But meditation.
What did you say, left?
But meditation, on the other hand, provides that high, but there's no
there's no like big release necessarily.
exactly.
Necessarily.
The tranquilizer is like a sugar high, but meditation is more like what would
It stabilizes you, I think.
Yeah. What is that? Like, isn't there some kind of food
I'm
that's
sure there's-
stable?
Yeah.
It's like white bread versus whole wheat bread.
Okay, more sustainable, like a slow release sugar rather than a fast sugar. Is that what you're
Exactly.
Alkalizing as opposed to acid.
Now we're like getting into a
Acidifying,
totally
I know.
different kind of show. So Dan the Man, I hope that kind of addressed your question. And maybe for meditation, if you feel tired after meditation, it may be related with just a release of old stagnant energy too.
Right,
I've
and-
had
Oh.
clinkety clinkety. I think there's a lot of different kinds of release, sex, meditation. It can be different for men, for women, and in different situations.
You might want to consider how you're breathing during meditation too, Dan.
Yeah.
That may make a difference, and make sure that you
Whether it's
focus on the exhale, and that
for
will,
releasing more.
for releasing more
Great idea.
stagnant energy.
I think that's about enough for tonight.
I think we're out of time.
And I hope
Right?
everyone... Right? So let's drink to that all together. And we'll be back soon with our meditation generation.
OMG!
OMG!
OMG. Oops.